What's up? Welcome. Let's check this out. Let's get jumping straight into it. Let's see what this is.
What a difference a year makes. The White House is celebrating the year's end with historic success securing the border, posting this video of the shocking transformation of what it looked like under President Biden compared to what it looks like now. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks posted that video. He joins us now. And Chief, when I saw you posted that video,
Okay, so welcome to Tank Talks. Tank Talks TV. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I was watching something else, y'all, and I said I was in the middle of trying to make this video, and it just, I don't know, it just went another way. So I said, let me go take care of my business. Let me go take care of my business. So anyway, so check this out. Trump is, of course, on the still fight of anything else. This is our president of our United States of America, that we have. And I want to update you all on what's going on with the border. So, I'll be wondering, because a lot of times they say, the wall, build the wall, what are they doing at the border, what's going on with it. So I want to give you all like a little bit of update of what's going on at the border, what's going on. So this what really caught my attention first. Let's check out this video, and then I'm right here with you. Okay. Look at this.
In one of the most remote parts of Arizona, a place where most of the residents are non-human, and life, in all its forms, is abundant, something big is coming. A small city going up along the southern border. This is the place where the Trump administration will be working for the next 2.5 years to connect existing border wall, a $309 million investment. For decades in the remote parts of Arizona, this has been the border wall, but soon it'll look much different. 30 feet of steel straight up in the air. It's one of the first steps by the second Trump administration to build up the border as fast as possible. Customs and Border Protection describing the Tucson sector, which covers 262 miles of border, as an area of high illegal entry attempts that experiences large numbers of individuals and narcotics being smuggled into the country illegally. As a whole, that's historically true, but this new project is through just 27 of those miles. And according to Eamon Harity with Sky Island Alliance,
you live across the street from a store, but suddenly they rip up the road and you have to drive all the way around the block to get across the street. Now imagine that kind of at a much grander scale.
Illegal crossings are exceedingly rare in the San Rafael Valley.
Yet we know this is a landscape where very few people are crossing.
Sky Island Alliance is a Tucson-based nonprofit where Eamon works with a team to try and protect wildlife, water, and land in southern Arizona and northern Mexico. Sky Island's cameras catch only about 5 people in the region where the wall is being built every month.
And half of those appear to be legally recreating or even Border Patrol.
ABC 15 asked Customs and Border Protection for data on how many people it's tracked moving through this specific region. The agency did not respond to any of our 3 emails about this issue. On Sky Island's many wildlife cameras, there's a lot of life to observe.
I think this is a good one. That's a mule deer. See how easily they're able to move through? And if we compare that with the border wall, it's a little different.
The ground is busy with all kinds of animals: pronghorn, black bears, mountain lions, even jaguars.
I think a lot of us have pets at home that can't get through a space like that. So if you extrapolate out, you're talking about anything larger than a bobcat is impeded and completely blocked by this wall.
To build the wall quickly, the Trump administration waived the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, which requires federal agencies to assess the environmental impacts of a proposal prior to making a decision.
The animals are the ones paying the cost.
Eamon, who has spent nearly a decade studying Southwest wildlife and endangered species, says impacts will be immediate.
These animals depend on resources that are scarce. They depend on water, they depend on food that is kind of scattered around the landscape. So they need the ability to move freely. And yet this border wall will stop them in their tracks.
In the past, the federal government has introduced environmentally friendly solutions.
So basically, they're gonna be even blocking the animals that's coming from over there too. It's block. They said if it blocks them, it'll block you.
Like small wildlife passages, the size of a piece of binder paper.
And they make a big difference for animals like coyote. and javelina and bobcats.
Spacing could be increased between posts.
These walls are built with steel posts that are placed every 4 inches. If you make it
I want y'all
every
to see where I
5.5
take money going,
inches,
that's all.
suddenly you see a lot more wildlife crossing. Much too small for people, but they'd save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars across the scope of this project to increase the spacing just a little bit, because you'd need fewer posts.
Gates, meant to allow for monsoon rains to pass through, could also be built.
If they don't open these gates, the wall gets knocked down. It happens pretty frequently, actually. So these gates have the potential to allow animals that are much too big for the small wildlife passages through.
CBP did not answer our request to clarify how they plan to protect the ecosystem within the San Rafael Valley. Groups like Sky Island plan to keep pushing for solutions.
So I think it's natural to want to close spaces, but it's also, you're not considering A, what it costs, and B, what the impacts are. We're really good at breaking things and leaving the mess for future generations. We do it all the time. And I think this is another example of just breaking things and leaving them.
Okay, so again, we are going through a little bit of updates on what's going on the border wall. So I went and gathered a few little videos. Hey, girly, I love you, baby. One of my good people, my good friend. So this is the next one I seen. Let's look at this one.
So this is the Trump administration's new border wall that they're building. They're also spending over $4 billion on technology upgrades for it. And it's a big difference between this barrier right over here and the wall. Well, construction workers that I talked to tell me that this wall is going to be replacing that barrier. And when I talked to Customs and Border Protection...
Wait a minute. Let's look at this. Look at this. So right there. You telling me that's the barrier that we had at the border? That's the barrier that we was using? I can jump that and I'm 5'3". Come on now. But yeah, I guess we do needless to say this, okay? Don't say this. Crossing the border is illegal in the United States of America, okay? But crossing the border is also illegal in other countries as well. So I'm not mad about them actually taking the notion and really going and trying to clean up the border, because immigration is a thing that can really harm a country if you got too much of it. You know what I'm saying? Just what it is, just the truth. So, Trump is not, he ain't never been, never will be our best president. But I did want to come through and see because they're not talking about the border wall anymore, they're talking about immigration. But I want to go and look into what's going on at the wall. Let's go.
They tell me that it's this border wall that's stopping a lot of border crossings. It's a new border wall that's stretching 23 miles of the Tucson sector. Last month, the Trump administration putting over 600.
But question is, okay, it says we're putting over $606 million towards this project. This is what we're paying right now. We're paying this. Listen to this. Taxpayers. Hold on, let me see. What my thing get? Alert, taxpayers. We paying $606 million has been announced. If you have missed this is what we paying. Okay. Now, I'm not saying it's all bad to spend this much money on the border, but why isn't this in, it should be a list of what we pay for, and we should be able to decide as a people like, no, we don't want to pay that much for it. Can y'all give us, can they please give us a direct link so it then announce, but this is what our idea is, and then you're gonna go and do a vote against. But I guess that's what they call, having representatives. But our representatives don't seem to be doing shit sometimes.
$106 million towards the Tucson sector's Smart Wall project.
The One Big Beautiful Bill is going to help implement the president's strong border agenda.
The Smart Wall is a security system with barriers, patrol roads, cameras, and other advanced tools.
To ensure that the United States border can not just be safe and secure under President Trump, but will be safe and secure long into the future.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt tells me the One Big Beautiful Bill.
I don't like that. You cut off what the important part I wanted to hear from her. She was saying long after what? I had to go back and look that up.
Bill tripled the budget to deport undocumented migrants.
So when it comes to that money, what is the Trump administration's goal with that?
They can hire more men and women, and they have the beds in the detention facility.
In fiscal year 2024, Customs and Border Protection says in the Tucson area, they encountered over 510,000 migrants. So far this fiscal year, just over 56,000 migrants.
Wow.
John Manel with CBP says, constructing and investing in border barriers along with full system attributes allows for agents to funnel illegal traffic to include human smuggling and narcotics.
Okay, so do you think, leave me a comment if you see this video. $606 million is a lot of money, which I do think we definitely need border protection. But like he said, John Mills said, constructing and investing in our border barriers along the full system attributes allows for agents to funnel illegal traffic to include human smuggling and narcotics through the ports of entry for identification, detection, and a successful law enforcement resolution. So, like you said, it'll have like the cameras on it. It got detection. But my thing is, I thought we already had all of this. All this money we got, we ain't got a top line border system, or is it just for Mexico? Because we ain't got one at the top. We ain't got one up there, do we? We got one. I know we got, but do we got the same wall at the top? That's my question. Do we have the same wall at the top?
The ports of entry for identification, detection, and a successful law enforcement resolution.
That's a lot of money we're spending on a wall in an area where our cameras have detected on average 5 people a month.
Eamon Harity is with Sky Island Alliance. The wall, he says, is disrupting migration patterns, plants, and the Santa Cruz River.
It's stunning. And it harbors incredible biodiversity from insects to plants on up to mammals.
Construction, he says, is already affecting the area.
Surveillance towers that have been in place for more than a decade can do a perfectly good job keeping an eye on the landscape. Walls are not necessary here.
And for border security, Democrats like Governor Katie Hobbs and Republicans like Congressman Juan Ciscomani have supported measures. Reporting at the border south of Sonoyta, Andrew Christensen, KGUN 9.
All right, so we got a little bit of update what's going on the border. So that's what's going on. At least we know what at least some of our text is going to. So something I wanted to make sure I keep on covering on. I'm going to stay nosy. Okay, keep hit that like, hit that subscribe, and come over here to Tank Talks TV 1. I'm gonna stay a little bit nosy when it comes to what's going on in our little politics and where our little tech money going to. Okay, that's something I like to enjoy these days. I be want to know. And it was so funny. The older I have gotten, the more I'm into those things deeply. I'm in them so much more deeply. All right, let's look at this last video.
What a difference a year makes. The White House is celebrating the year's end with historic success securing the border, posting this video of the shocking transformation of what it looked like under President Biden compared to what it looks like
Christmas
now. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks posted that video.
Listen,
he joins us now in chief.
Listen, if those receipts are real, listen. That's a difference. I gotta get credit with credit. That's the difference. He's still doing bad things, but it's a big difference.
When I saw you posted that video, I immediately reached out to you, said, we got to talk about this because that littered trash all along the banks of the river is from Brownsville, Texas. I know it because I lived it. I was there. And to see now no one coming across, the numbers down nearly 100%. I wanted to bring you on to reflect back on the year. And I think, of all of the things the American people voted for, it was President Trump's mandate to secure the border. You have done it in an unprecedented way. How were you able to achieve it?
And, Griff, thanks for having me on it. And it's pretty simple, right? We have a president that supports us, a secretary and Secretary Noem that says, Chief, what do you need? What does the U.S. Border Patrol need? And then they get out of our way and let us do the job. It wouldn't be possible without the support of them. But ultimately, it's letting Border Patrol agents get out there and do what Border Patrol agents know how to do. And so we're actually enforcing the law. We're prosecuting and deporting those that come in illegally, shutting off that pull factor that encouraged people to come here. But like you said, that area was Brownsville, Texas, and the area was so littered with trash that there was literally 4 to 6 feet of just trash from illegal immigrant after illegal immigrant crossing the border and then dumping the trash as they made their way north to be processed and released. And so once.
And then too, why they was leaving that trash? I think they were leaving that trash because they wanted to leave a trail. So when somebody follows behind them, it's a trail of trash but the trail trash showed them how to get through the back ways of where it get points of entry.
Take away the pull factor, which is, that if you cross the border illegally, there'll be no punishment. You'll be released into the country and provided some type of stipend at the cost of American taxpayers. Once you realize that's not going to happen, your probability of apprehension is great. Your probability of prosecution is even greater, and your probability of deportation is almost 100% certain. It really shut down that flow. So we just simply started providing a consequence for that illegal activity, and then we were able to get our agents back on the border, actually conducting enforcement, where we didn't have every one of them inside processing and leaving that border wide open.
Yeah, and Chief, we've been showing it to our viewers here, a lot of the thousands, 3,000, 4,000 a day that would come across an Eagle Pass. There was, for me, one moment I filmed a guy coming across illegally wearing a specific T-shirt that really, I think, now tells the story. You see him here on your screen. He's wearing a Biden-Harris T-shirt. I asked him as he crossed illegally and into the country whether or not he thought the Biden-Harris administration was trying to tell him to come, to help him to come. And he said, honestly, yes. And it's no fault of him. I'm not making fun of this individual. It was just that the previous administration seemed to welcome this. And it seems that the message now from this administration is
you got to come the right way. You got to come the right way these days.
The message is very clear. If you want to come to this country, you come illegally. You come the right way. You apply. You go through the process. If you come illegally, you will be arrested. You will be prosecuted, and you will be deported.
And just very quickly, you do have Democrats that are not only is it ironic, perhaps, that they're saying that President Trump is illegally deporting illegal aliens, but also you now have Jasmine Crockett accusing the White House of being dishonest about border numbers. She says that these numbers aren't accurate. What do you say to her?
Look, Jasmine Crockett has said some pretty outlandish stuff, but I tell you what, I extend an open invitation to Jasmine Crockett or any other elected official that would like to go down to the border, and we can show them for themselves. Griff, I ran into you several times down on the border over the last couple of years when I was serving as the Texas border czar under the last 2 years of the Biden administration. I've returned, to be the chief of the Border Patrol, and I will tell you this, night and day. Last week, there was a day where we had 113 people that crossed the border, were apprehended, and set into some type of process. 113. And there were days in Del Rio, Texas, where there was over 12,000 people crossing that border. And a place like Eagle Pass, Texas, where in 3 days, more people had crossed the border than the entire population of that border town. And so just completely overrun. But I invite Jasmine Crockett and any other politician that wants to come down and question those numbers. I'll take you down there personally, take you anywhere you want to go on that border, and I will show you night and day the difference. We have shut down this border. We are pushing toward operational control. We will get there under this administration and under the leadership of President Trump and Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security. We will get there, but I challenge her and anyone else. Let's take a trip.
You are certainly there in securing the border in an unprecedented way. Chief Mike Banks, I give you...
Ending. I'm trying. Why the hell we putting out my? I don't even know what's going on. I gotta go back to this. But anyway, that's what's going on at our border. I want to just come on and say, give you all a bit of update. And also shout out to everybody who likes and subscribes. But yeah, let's keep y'all up to date. So we know we got a couple of projects going on at the border. Do I believe all the Trump numbers that he's getting? No, but I know he's getting a lot of them. No, I don't believe all of it. But no, just want to keep you up to date. So that is the update what's going on at the USA border over here. It takes time to update my people that we over here. We want to update about the border. So that's our border update for this week. And of course, some of us were maybe a month ago. But I wanted to come back and just share and make sure I have an update about what's going on because things always something to change. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, peace out, A-Town down, and thank you for being here. This is a journey that we're all on, and everything isn't gonna be right. Everything's gonna be perfect in the beginning, and I know that, and I'm okay with that. But I know how I am is who I am, and I do what I do, and I do care. Genuinely, I care. Yeah, because if I've been doing this before this, I've been doing this. Before this, I've been doing this. Okay. But and it's the same thing. You stay encouraged, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody stop you on your journey, whatever you're doing. So anyway, let me get out of here. Let me go watch something. And just keep up to date. I ain't gonna say that. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Peace out.